Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. And in our top stories today, I want to mention Vince Dow, fellow creator, fellow content creator, and commentator on YouTube, who mentioned this the other day, and it was worth mentioning here on the BuzWeaver channel because it covers a lot of the topics that we have talked about here for the last 4 years. Mediaite. Terrible, terrible, terrible. CNN's Harry Enten sounds the alarm for Dems about record low new poll numbers. So CNN data guru Harry Enten quoted NBA legend Charles Barkley Monday while breaking down a pair of polls released a day earlier that showed Democrats in deep trouble with the electorate, and they are very much so. I'm setting up the video here. Now, I just wanted to mention real quick that Charles Barkley wouldn't say terrible. Charles Barkley says torrible. So he would have said torrible, 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 and I can say that. Charles Barkley is a Auburn alumni, and of course the Auburn Tigers will be playing Michigan on Friday, but I digress. Let's go ahead and listen to the video.
Chief data analyst Harry Enten, full of despair, says Politico Democrats are. Why?
Why? Why are Democrats full of despair? All I have to say, Democrats, call your office. You know, we're March Madness times. Terrible, 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 to quote the great Charles Barkley. View Democratic Party favorably. CNN SRS, look at this, 29%. NBC News, you want to go lower than that? How about 27%? Both are record lows, the lowest going back to 1992 in CNN polling, the lowest going back on record to 1990 in NBC News polling. The majority of Americans hold an unfavorable or negative view of the Democratic Party at this point. All I can say is I'm a big fan of the oldies, so I'm going to quote Chubby Checker, how low can you go?
Nice. Well done. With that, what about congressional Democrats specifically?
Yeah, what about congressional Democrats specifically? You think these numbers are low. How about this one? Holy Toledo. Voters' views of the Democrats in Congress among all voters disapprove, 68%. And look at the approved number, just 21%, even lower than the Democratic Party at large. This is the lowest on record for Democrats, according to Quinnipiac University polling. You think these numbers are bad? Let's go to this side of the screen. We'll look how Democratic voters feel. Get this. The plurality of Democratic voters disapprove of Democrats in Congress at 49%, and just 40% approve. Horrible, horrible, horrible.
It is indeed, and they did it to themselves, as we see here from Frank Luntz. His post on X, top Democrats tell Axios their party is in its deepest hole in nearly 50 years. Among voters, the perception is that the Democrat Party has left behind working-class voters and now takes its directions from celebrities and niche interest groups. Now, you guys already know what I'm about to say. The establishment uniparty empowered these people to hijack our culture, institutions, and justice system. The Democrats focused on wokeness, DEI, intersectionality, identitarianism. They focused on all these small groups. I'm starting to talk like someone from Brooklyn, like Harry Eaton. All of a sudden, I'm now talking like him. And this is what they did. They didn't include Americans as a whole. They went for this woke nonsense, this virtue signaling stance that completely dismantled them. And the thing about the Democratic Party is they are terrible at learning from their mistakes, because they're going to continue to try to pound their square peg of ideology into the round hole, and it isn't going to work for them. And I'm not going to interrupt them, as they say. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Axios, behind the curtain, Dems' dark, deep hole. So we have the party has its lowest favorability ever. We just talked about that. No popular national leader to help improve it, so Jasmine Crockett is now being censored. And, of course, AOC isn't helping. Insufficient numbers to stop most legislation in Congress. That's true. The GOP controls the House and the Senate. A durable minority in the Supreme Court. Now, here's the thing. The Supreme Court is supposed to base all its decisions on law, not politics. But either party, left or right, or even sometimes center, do like to think that the Supreme Court, the judicial branch of government, does make its decisions on politics, and it's not supposed to, although a lot of decisions either go one way or the other, but people like to include them in the political process. Dwindling influence over the media ecosystem with right-leaning podcasters and social media accounts ascendant. And here's the thing. They're trying to generate popularity, and as we've always said here on the BuzWeaver channel, popularity and influence is the Democrat currency to win people over. If you don't agree with Democrats, they will try to destroy you. That's the simplest way of putting it. And for all this time, they've had the power, they've had the influence, and they've had the ability to shut you down if you did not agree with them. They don't have that power now, which is what makes them even more upset. But when you only focus on a small group of people to try to virtue signal, to make yourself look self-righteous, that's going to be a problem. And we see here an X from Charlie Kirk. Dear Democrats, please listen to AOC, Bernie Sanders, and Elise Mistal. And here's the thing. Please go further left. And you can see here, this chart here, Democrats have shifted sharply leftward on cultural issues in recent years, leaving the median voter behind. And, of course, this is obviously what we talked about here on the BuzWeaver channel. So, of course, you want to hit that like button to illustrate and demonstrate your support of the channel and this content. So it's absolutely amazing to me to think that the Democrats have sank this low and have this low of approval. But it's of no surprise, and they're continuing to go out there, and they have the full weight of the media behind them. Because even though the establishment it has been kind of partially shut down, they're still lurking in the shadows. They still have their influence. They're still out there obstructing. They're still getting their activist judges out there to try to block and put stays on things that Donald Trump is doing. And the thing about it is it's all temporary stopgaps, right? They're legal timeouts. They're just there like a roadblock. They're just there to pull the rug because they can pull the rug. That's it. They're not creating a solution to anything. They're not fixing a problem. They're not trying to solve some legal issue. They're just there to try to stop Donald Trump as best they can, and the Democrats are suffering because of it. And as I've said earlier, they don't learn from their lessons. They don't learn anything from their mistakes, and this is going to be a big problem for them. But again, I'm not going to try to stop them. But I do want to thank all of you guys across New Tech, that's BitChute, Rumble, and Odyssey, for your guys' continued support. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, so avail yourselves to that. And if you order frequently from Amazon or an Amazon Prime member, you can use my link down below, as well as if you're looking for a virtual private network, that VPN, I use Trust Zone down below. It just helps out the channel. But of course, your likes and your shares do help out tremendously, and that's across New Tech as well as here on YouTube. So thank you guys for all of your continued support. Appearing there on the screen, that'd be the channel icon. You guys can click on that to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube specifically, and select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.